Mr. Irontrader, it is Sunday night. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin daily and weekly chart. But first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Detroit Lions. They got a good lead here going against the Commanders. I still call them the Redskins. But I say, yeah, we're going to see if they can pull it out here for all four quarters. Okay, let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Now, we had this here on Friday. We came right on down. We made this low of 99,425. We're looking at 99,250. But the key was, when I pointed out right to the left here, we're looking right here at the bottom of that candle at that 99.90 level. That was going to be key. So far, we are holding it very, very nicely. So look at the RC on the weekly chart. Nice. Okay, so now today, so far, we popped right above here, but we gapped up. So you got to be very careful with that. So on the downside, you're looking at 105, a 61 level. That is your 8-day. Okay, and then right below that here, we have that 104, 270 level. That is your 200-day. And then we have right there at 104, 220 level. That is your gap fill. Okay, so you want to look about by that candle. Okay, at 105, 120, there's your gap. And then we have that fill at 104, 220 level, but we have the 8-day and the 200-day. Now, on the upside here, so far we got at 105, 810 level. What we're looking for is, if you just look right to there, to the left, 105, 755 level. Right next is going to be right there at 106, 210. That's what we're going to be looking for. Then we're going to come up to the top of this candle right there, 107, 770. And then we were looking for that 21-day at 108, 905 level. Now, again, if we get above that, then we can head for this 111, 290 level up there. We come up to the top of that candle, 111, 785. Then we come up top of this candle here at 112, 355. And then we'll be looking for 50-day here at 112, 958. And then we have the Ohando there sitting at 113, 641 there, okay? Your old 100-day simple moving average. Now, you can see how the 21-day crossed over, okay? The 8-day crossed over. But if we can get that price back above that 8-day, we can get the curl right back up again, just like we did here, and then we can take that price up higher, okay? Now, easy way to trade this, IBIT for the long, okay? BITX for the long, that's a 2-time leverage. And we can look at BITI for the old short ski, which we did here, and we did here. Now, Friday, actually, it came right on down, but as long as we're holding this key level, that is going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, the key is going to be holding that 8-day and then holding that 200 SMA here. That's going to be very, very key, okay? So if we get any kind of a lower situation, then what we're going to do is we come right down here, all the way here. We can look at the bottom of that candle, 102. We come down here. We're looking at that 101 level. We have that 108.15 level. But this is going to be critical, is right here is holding this on a closing basis, this 99.90 level. Okay, now, this sell-off here we had, you can see Friday have a good rally. Now, the futures right now here, let me see here. NASDAQ futures up about 182. Okay, now again, Monday, if we have a nice rally up here on Monday, always watch for turnaround Tuesday. But now it looks like they're getting close to a deal on that shutdown where this could here propel this whole market up way higher. So let's just see how this is all going to work out. Now, MACD, we came here, we're at the bottom here. But if you look at these little bars, see how they're moving on up? Okay, moving on up. But we got to cross that red. That green's got to cross the red, and it shows momentum to the upside. Now, we never got to an oversold level. Now we're sitting about 43. So again, we got to see how we can, propel this up. Now your big targets here on the upside are going to be that 21 SMA. It's going to be top of that candle, 111, 290, and then it's going to be that 50-day and then that 100-day. On the downside, you got to watch that 8-day, watch that 200-day. If we lose that 200-day on a closing basis, we could retest that 99,250 level. Alrighty, here let's see on the old weekly chart. Now, I don't like this. See how that 8-day crossed over that 21-day? See how this here? That was the result of it. See how that came all the way down? Now, again, that doesn't mean this can't reverse on a weekly basis. But if you notice, Friday's candle came right on down. We tested this level, but we closed back above that 50-day. So if you just look to the past here, see? Look to the past. And look at here, we're right back above that 50 SMA here. Now, the key to the upside, if it keeps on running, is going to be that 110 area. That's going to be that 8-day, and then right above it is that 113. You got to get back above that. Then we can start heading right for that 116 level, and then we have that 118 level, and then we can work yourself back up to that 127, 240 situation, okay? But again, let's just see how this is. By Friday, the key is holding this 50-day on a closing basis. If not, we could retest that that key 99.90 level, okay, which is basically just the bottom of the candle. But we lose that. Look at here, okay, 93 level. We come there, 89 level. Come down here, 83 level. Then we have all the way down here your 100 SMA here. Then we come down to the bottom, 76. And then look at all the way here is 74,635. Okay. But again, by Friday, we want to hold that key at 50-day. Now, sitting here at 47, sitting there pretty much in the middle kind of a situation. The green is still below your red. But remember, weekly charts take a lot longer to turn around than we do here on the old daily. Okay. So again, watch the 8-day, 200-day. Very, very clean. Now, a lot of times you'll come right down here, down to that 200-day, fill that gap. That would be good. And then we could maybe possibly rally up. All right, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold. Here we have silver. Okay, now let's just see how this is shaking out. Now, we look here at the gold. Okay, so what we had here is we had this bear flag. See that? Big pole. Little bit of rally, and then boom, down we get. But look at this sideways consolidation. Now look at this 8-day, okay? See how this 8-day is curling up? That doesn't mean it can't roll back over again. But as long as we're holding that 8-day, 4,000 flat, that's going to be key. Now we come down to Friday's low here, looking at 39.81. We'll come down here at 39.73. Then we'll be looking here for that 39.35. And then we have the 50-day at 39.15. And then we have the retest right there at that 39.01 level. Now, me, I have no position in this until we close back above that 21-day. So what we're looking for here, we look at Friday's high, 40.35, come up there, 40.43, 40.59, and then we have the old 21-day, and then we have to see what the reaction is once it gets there, okay? So right now, we're right below that. If we crack above that 21-day, then I will jump into the GLD, and we'll take it to this level right here, 41.75. Then we can jump up to 42.35, jump up there, 43.46, and then your upside target is going to be 43.98. Okay. Now, again, we cracked that 43.98 level. Obviously, you're going to go, 44, and I think you can work yourself all the way to that 5,000 mark here if you have the juice. But you're going to need some kind of a catalyst in order to do this. So, bottom line, you just watch that 8-day on the downside. Very, very key. If we lose it, you could come down to that 50-day. Upside, we could rally to that 21-day. Got to get above that. Then we can start rallying and hit these markets, and we could rally to that 43.98. 51, we're just sitting here side of flat. Now the green is below your red, but look at the little bars curling up. You got green has to cross over. That shows momentum to the upside. See how that green crossed below? Momentum to the downside, and that was the result. All right, silver. Now this 21-day is just kicking silver's ass. Look at this, okay? See, look at that 48.94. That's going to be key. But look how many days that it's held it, okay? This is why you trade the charts. Now, the key to the upside is closing back at that 48.94. Okay, if we get above that, we'll come to the top of that candle at 49.22. Okay, then we come down to the bottom there, looking at 49.66. We have 50.08, and then we venture up here, 51.61. We have 51.83, and then we'll come up the top of there, 52.63, and work yourself up to 53.76. We crack that, we're going to head right towards that 55 level. Now, downside, we're watching right there at that 48.08. Then we'll come down here to the bottom of that candle, 47.41. We'll come down there, 46.65. And then we have 46.52. Then we'll come down to that 46.35. There's your 50-day. And then your retest at 45.51, which is basically just the bottom of the candle. But we have this sideways consolidation. So, again, we crack above that 21-day. Got a good shot at the old retest. We crack below that 50-day. We got a good shot at that 50-day. Now, we look at here, the green is here. You got a sideways action, even a little bit better than the gold. And the little bars are curling up. So it's just going to be a matter of time, I think. And then we have this 53. That's only sideways action. This is where it was way, way overbought. See that? Way, way overbought. This here is still looking very, very good. The 21-day is going to be key on upside. 8-day key on the downside. All right, take a look here at crude oil. All right, here we have crude weekly, daily chart. Okay, so you can see how this is downtrending. Okay, see high, lower high, lower high, lower high situation. Okay, so that's what we have right now. Now, again, when you look at this, we had a left shoulder, a head, and we had this right shoulder, but it's just dragging out so long that I don't think that pattern is going to play out there. Okay, so right now on the downside, this is what you're watching is that 59.63 level. Okay, we lose that, we're going to go to Friday's low, 59.32, and then we come down here at that 58.83. We lose that, you can come in here, your next target, 56.35. What am I talking about? Yeah, 58.08, sorry about that. And then we have 57.34 level, come to the bottom there, 56.35. Then we have our 50-50, 55.96 level. We lose that, you can come right here. This is going to be your target at 55.12. We lose this, 53, 50, 47, and you can come all the way down to that 43 mark, okay? But right now here, we just have that sideways action, so just watch that 21-day. That's the key. Upside, the 8-day, 60.18. We get above that, we'll come right to the top of that candle there. At that 60.51 level, we'll come up there at 61.09. And then we're looking for that 61.48. There's your 50-day. We'll come to the price channel, 62.59. The 100-day, 63.60. 200-day at 64.96 and 90. And then we have your retest at 66.42. Right now, this time of the year, got about another 4 or 5 weeks here. About the first week of December is you really want to be short, and then you can take a long. But again, we got to see, OPEC has been pumping oil, and got pretty much a surplus, big time surplus going on here. And especially this time of the year, you don't really need that surplus kind of a situation. Okay, so bottom line is this: watch that 21-day on the downside, the 8-day on the upside. You crack that 8-day, that 50-day is your target. We cross that, lose that 21-day, we could venture all the way down 50-50, 55.96 level. Now, sitting sideways action, it's not overbought or oversold. Right here, sideways action, not really telling us nothing. So again, patience. I do UCO for the long, SCO for the short. Works out very nicely. All right, natty gas, here we come. All right, here we have natural gas. Now you can see here we have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation, okay? Now we got outside those price channels. See outside that price channel? So anytime that happens, it wants to pull in and then consolidate. See how this pull right on out here and then consolidate situation. See how that pull on out and wants to pull on in. That's exactly what it did. Now what we're doing is we're watching the top of that candle at that 4.42 level. So all I got to do is just look right to the left of this chart right here. Okay, and what do we have here? Right there, 4.42. Okay, so that was your upside target. Now, today here so far, we hit this right there, this 4.48. So what you want to do is look right to the left here. You got 4.476. Okay, now your next level here is going to be right there. It's going to be top of that candle. Okay, 4.51. Then we have 4.55. And then we have up here 4.58. And then we have that big 4.90 all the way on top. Okay, now we had that contract roll, and that's what gapped it up. This wasn't like it's moving up here on demand and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of throws its charts all around. So this looks like it's an overbought. This looks like it's overbought, but really it is not. This thing could roll much higher. And I'm looking here for this 490. Now, I've been just trading this because a lot of times when you get that contract roll, it pops up, it kind of screws the charts up. But then I couldn't help myself. When I seen it making a higher high, I jumped into UNG, and I've been just trading the UNG long. Okay, now you can do KOD for short. You can also do Boyle. They all work out really, really good. But the UNG works really good. You're sitting at 13.95. I go in there buy 5,000 shares. I don't need that much. I can go make 30 cents. Okay, you got $1,500 easy just on natural gas. But look at you come add that with all the rest of the stuff you're trading. You make yourself a really good day. You know what I'm saying? So again, bottom line here, just watch right there, that 442. If we lose that, watch this 8-day at 426. That's going to be very, very key. Okay, now. Here we had down as low as 418. Then we retested that bad boy. It was 419. Okay, that's why I jumped back in there and I took that UNG for the long. Right now I have no position, long or short. Okay, I'm just basically day trading this situation. So if we lose this key 8-day, then come right down to that 418 level. Then we'll come right down to the bottom there. You're looking at 408 level. Then we'll come down there at 401, and then we come to the top of this candle here at that 386. Okay. We lose that, we're going to come down to the gap here at 375. Here's the fill all the way down here at 343, but we got that 21-day, 365, 200-day, 346 before you even get there, okay? But just watch that 8-day on downside. Very, very key. We need to hold that. Upside, just basically watch right there. We crack above that 4.47 a level on a closing basis. Then we're going to be hitting right there, 451, 455, 458, and then big retest at that 490. Okay, so right there, that was your own natty gas. So this is actually working out very, very nice as a trading situation. Okay, so that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.